All right, so our next performer is going to be Sid. So if you want to unmute yourself and announce your name and the piece that you'll be playing for us today.
Hello, I'm Sid, and I will be playing Prelude 1 by Gershwin.
Nice. All right, and that was Sid performing Prelude #1 by Gershwin. All right, so I'm gonna start the poll real quick, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right. There you go. So there's the link for the poll. So yeah, Matt and Upsar, you can start filling that out. And then if you have have any verbal feedback, you can just raise your hand pretty much. And I'll give you guys maybe a minute or so to finish up the poll. Okay, cool. We have everything in. All right, awesome. Do either of you guys have any verbal feedback to give? Either Matt or Upsar? No? Matt, do you have anything?
Nothing really, except for just to get it memorized, so you don't have to spend any time just obtaining the pages and stuff.
Yeah, the page changes were definitely a big part of it. I'd recommend spreading it out. I don't know if this might be something more common in band, but like taping pages together, or what Upstart is showing like having them in a binder or folder or something so that you can flip through it. That might make the page changes a lot more organized, so then you can possibly do them
Yes.
while you're playing. Yeah. Upstairs, do you have any feedback?
Yeah, I feel like if this piece sounded a lot like it was had lots of jazz influences, and maybe Sid try to make it sound more free flowing, because like right now it feels really forced with the way you have that syncopated rhythm. So maybe like push and pull at the tempo a little bit more, and maybe try to like string the different phrases together, because individually the phrases are really strong, I feel, but if you could connect them, it would feel less forced and seem more like everything is like molded together really nicely. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, that's actually really good advice. Especially since this piece is kind of like it's Gershwin, and Gershwin was kind of like the not pre-swing, but like kind of like when they were still notating swing in the kind of as like through like 16th notes and all that stuff. So yeah, definitely having more free flowing and connecting the phrases will be a really big thing throughout the piece, and that kind of goes into like phrasing and all that stuff, because there's a whole, even though there's a like left hand motif that kind of drives the like groove of this piece, definitely the right hand, the melody is very interconnected between the bars, so working to connect that. Yeah, that's actually really good feedback that I didn't think about. Yeah. Thank you for that. So yeah, so on the poll you got on articulation 5, 9, and 8. Yeah, I think articulation was all right. As I mentioned, as Upstart mentioned, I think just kind of like the whole kind of connecting the phrases and all that stuff, I think that's a big part of the articulation, and kind of clean that up. And then there's a lot of accent marks and tenutos. So kind of those are like the subtle things, but I think that probably also goes along with coordination, but kind of like drawing those out a little bit more. So it's kind of expressing those articulation marks specifically as you work through the piece. On the balance, it was 5, 8, and 7. For balance, I thought the left hand was particularly heavy. It felt that also could be a coordination thing. It also could be the range of the notes of the left hand, since it's a very low range. But I think also just kind of developing an awareness to the balance between the left and right hand, and maybe being aware, because the left hand notes can be perceived to be a lot louder as well, just because of where they are on the piano as well. On dynamics, you got 5, 7, and 7. I thought dynamics were okay. Dynamics, I think the forte and like the fortissimo sections were really good. I thought it was a little top heavy. So I think definitely being able to pull it back on those piano sections will be really good. And then on movement, you got 8, 7, and 9. Movement, I don't have much to comment on. I think movement was fine. This piece has a kind of like that grooving kind of feel to it. So definitely kind of just moving with that probably will help with the expression and of the piece. And on phrasing, 5, 7, and 7. And yeah, as Upstart mentioned, just kind of connecting all those phrases together and developing like a smooth melody from that, even though it kind of has this, I don't want to call it ragtime. It's not ragtime, but like stride type of stride. I think that's more stride type of feel to it in the left hand. So kind of connecting. So the thing with stride is you have the low bass note and the like pattern in the left hand, but then on top of that you have a connected melody on top of that. So it's not like these like bar by bar phrases in that sense.